Hello, everyone, and good morning. Welcome to our live feed update for February 23rd. It is our final live feed update of the season for Celebrity Big Brother 3. And I am, of course, your host, Taran Armstrong, here alone. I'm the only one left watching the show to update you on everything that happened yesterday on Celebrity Big Brother 3. It was day 28 in the house. Today is day 29, and it will be their final day. So if you really need that extra final bit of update, I'll let you know what happened today on the feeds tonight on the finale recap. But so far, it's mostly just been Todrick pacing back and forth alone. But yeah, I'll let you know. I'll let you know what happened there yesterday on the feeds. Not much is really the answer. Feel free to ask some questions along the way, but this is going to be a quick one. I think that the major thing here that everyone is looking for is, has anything changed about who's going to take who to the final two? And my answer to that is no. As far as I can tell, everything is remaining the same here. Cynthia will take Todrick, Misha will take Todrick, and it really does seem to me as though Todrick has not changed his mind, and he will be taking Misha if he wins the final 3 HOH. Now I can help sort of illuminate on why I think that. Not that I mean really be prove yet to prove the opposite, really, but we'll get into it. Todrick talked to Cynthia yesterday. He asked her about what votes he thinks he's going to get against Misha, and this is again why it's like it seems pretty locked in that he's going to take Misha. Um, he's talking about jury votes all day long, and it's always against Misha. He's not worrying, he's not stressing, he's not thinking about at all what the jury votes would be against Cynthia. He didn't talk to Cynthia about it. He didn't talk to Misha about it, but he talked to both of them about jury votes versus Misha. On top of that, Cynthia has made it clear that she thinks that he will beat Misha and that he will have her vote against Misha. So seems pretty locked in. Cynthia does tell him that she thinks he'll win. He's concerned that Shayna is going to poison the jury against him, though. But she says, nah, you got this. He says, against you, Cynthia, I have no idea. But against Misha, she's like, I think you have it. I think you have it. They talk about whether the jury will respect brains or brawn. That's the main concern here. Yeah, she won a bunch of competitions, but he was like the brains behind the scenes, orchestrating, strategizing. And she says, yeah, I think you play the more well-rounded game, Todrick, says Cynthia. He hopes that that she will explain that to the jury if she gets a chance to sit down with them. He is, again, like very much implying here, like Cynthia will be on the jury. He's hoping that Cynthia will be able to do some work for him on the jury. That would have been great to have before. Cynthia is not really going to have much of a chance to talk to them. So he's hoping that she can help him out a bit there, and he's hoping if you're trying to get an insight into his jury strategy, he's hoping that his like locked in votes are first off Cynthia and Carson. He thinks he's got them, and he's hoping maybe with Cynthia and Carson they've pulled Teddy somehow, but that's not a guarantee. He's also hoping that he has Mirai. He feels like, in terms of active jury management, Mirai is one of the few people that Todrick seemed to care enough to jury manage. He talked to her a few times before she left, had personal conversations, and was trying to sort of pep talk her and support her. So he feels like he could maybe get that Mirai vote. And with that base of Cynthia, Carson, and Mirai, or maybe Teddy, he's got some options. He can maybe get Todd and Lamar. He never thought he would get Todd's vote. He never thought that was even an option. But then Todd said he was playing the best game on his way out the door. And so now he has some hope. Um, and Cynthia's like, "Oh, for sure Carson's gonna vote for you. Like, I think Teddy will. I think Todd will." And you know, that's what he's hoping for. He doesn't feel confident about Shayna or Kirkpatrick, obviously. Um, but you know, that's what he's aiming for. Uh he also says that if he doesn't win, he'd want Misha to win. And so I think that's yet another reason why we're going to see him take Misha to the final two. Um, he also talks to Misha about votes. This is less interesting. But they just run through like who will Mariah vote for? Do you think Kirkpatrick will be? He talks about something that he'll probably say after he loses to Misha. That for some reason, everyone seems to get more mad at him than Misha, even though they're doing the same things. And so you can expect that to be something that he probably says. Um, Todrick goes back. He talks to Cynthia some more. And this time he wants to run his final two speech by her. Um, and this is like the wild part of this situation is that he's like planning to cut her, and he's giving his final speech to her, a, a final speech that is aimed at sitting next to Misha, and he's running it by her. And in his speech, he's referring to one of his biggest moves being essentially tricking the opposition into taking out a lesser threat. And she's like totally cool with it. So here's his speech, or probably a longer version of what will be his speech. He says, "As a super fan, I came into this game expecting to backstab and manipulate. But when I met everyone, I realized this group would respect honesty, loyalty, and transparency. So I pivoted. And I went to Carson and I told him that I was choosing a side early on, and that that made me one of the biggest targets in the game, and I got blood on my hands, and even I had to work hard. I was a pivotal part of every eviction. I put targets on people. Even when the other side of the house got power, I was able to flip the house around to get the focus on a target that was less of a threat." And he says, "I was inspired to play by the cookout, but I don't want to win because I'm black or because I'm gay. I want to win because this is not the Olympics. You don't win based on how many vetoes and HOHs you win. You win because of how you play creatively, mentally, physically, and strategically. Those four criteria. And I'm the person that has played this game, and I've never touched the block all season long." He said, I did not come into this house to for the money. I don't have kids, but I do have millions and millions of young, impressionable LGBT artists who look up to me. And if I win, I vow to use the money to create art for the community that I love so much." And Cynthia is like, "Yay, that's so good, Todrick. Oh, so many great points. Um, you did such a great job." And he's like, "I don't know if it will all fit. I don't know if it will fit in the minute." He's like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm not sure if it'll fit, but you have to include the point about the cookout and what you're gonna use the money for, and that you never touch the block." Um, He's like, "Do you think I should keep in the part about playing with loyalty, transparency, and honesty?" She's like, "No, you can cut that part. That part's not as important." Which honestly is pretty good advice. I felt like that was the worst. I mean, opening up with, I mean, remember when the jury laughed at Big D? If Todrick opened up with, "I came into this game expecting to backstab and manipulate, but when I saw everyone, I realized that I needed to play with loyalty, transparency, and honesty, so I pivoted." I feel like the jury would laugh at that. Um, so the fact that he's not going to say it, maybe a loss to us in that sense. But good advice from Cynthia, I guess. Uh, but that's pretty much it. You know, that's we are definitely going to see some form of that speech tonight on the finale because Todrick will be in the final two. Um, but it's looking pretty likely. As Cynthia said herself yesterday, and I hadn't even caught this by the time that we did the roundtable, which because on the roundtable I said it would take an act of I don't even remember the joke I made. Essentially, an act of God for Cynthia to win the game, and she literally said yesterday, for me to win this game, God would need to come down to earth and just be like, "This needs to happen." Um, so we'll see. I actually don't think it's that unlikely because it could easily be a crapshoot HOH. Like, what if it's like what the bleep, right? If it's a what the bleep HOH, Cynthia could absolutely just randomly win that. She came close to winning even the movie poster competition. And if she does, she will take Todrick and she will win. It is not that unlikely of a scenario. It takes a specific kind of competition and for her to then kind of luck into a win in that competition. But I really don't think it's that unlikely. The audience is very pessimistic. Last night on the roundtable, 97% of them said that they thought Misha was going to take this, but I don't think that Cynthia has only 3% of equity here. I think she's got at least 10%. I would have to imagine. Um, but yeah, her I'm not gonna lie, her jury speech will probably be, "Look, I don't deserve this. It should go to the guy sitting next to me." It would not surprise me if she said something along those lines. Um, but she would still win. So, all right. That's what I've got for you from yesterday. There's really not that much. I mean, there's plenty of trash talkings, Shayna, as per usual, and all of that stuff. But I'm not here to make you mad today. Um, any questions? Any questions for me before we wrap up this very quick final live feed update? We will of course be live tonight. I'll be live on Twitch. Please come and watch with me for this finale. We need to come together in these times and watch this together. And then after the finale, of course, we'll be live to talk through uh, and wrap up. Just put a bow on the season and just kind of just put it away and never probably look at it again. Um, do I think that Todrick would throw the HOH? No, I think he genuinely thinks and knows that he has a better shot of beating Misha than he does of beating Cynthia. So I think that he does want to be there with Misha. Again, he's not even thinking through what the jury votes would be against Cynthia. He's not practicing his speech against Cynthia. He very much expects to be sitting next to Misha, and I think that he will try to make sure that that happens. Um, so have they done part one yet? No. So it's just going to be one competition. There's not going to be a three-part HOH for the final three like there is in a normal season. Most celebrity seasons end with a final four HOH, but because Catan quit, we're down to a final three. But it's still just going to be a single part HOH, as far as I'm aware, which is why they're going to be able to fit it into 1 hour. Do I think the jury will get to ask questions that will clue Cynthia into that they all hate Todrick? We talked about this last night, but it's really, Julie implied in some interviews that like, oh, don't worry, the jury will definitely get to say their piece using the sentence that they say when they cast their vote. It's like, ooh. So that might be the extent of it, but we'll see. Todrick knows that the jury is not sequestered. Yeah, I mean he's relying on that. He thinks that Shayna has come out of the house and will get to watch and see that he was telling the truth and being honorable and maybe not being honorable, but that she will then understand. Will Todrick realize how wrong he was? We'll see. Do any of the players see that Misha enabled Todrick no blood on her, but let Todrick keep digging the hole. Um, that's not really, I think, an accurate depiction of their relationship. I don't think that Misha ever thought, "Oh, Todrick's digging a hole right now." She's been with him every step of the way, and I mean, she's obsessed with him, as she says herself. So I don't see any intentionality there. Like, oh, I know that I'm taking a Russell Hance right now. She fully thinks that Todrick can beat her. Um, uh, why is he still talking about Shayna? Look, uh, she's quite the woman. Makes a big impression. Um, how does the vote work for the audience? So once the final two is reveal formed, once Misha or Todrick likely cut Cynthia, the show will, I think, just go, all right, now in the commercial break, text this to vote for Misha and this to vote for Todrick. um but it's it's not gonna matter. Do I think the BB CanCast reveal is today? It might be. If it is, I we do have probable plans to have a reaction podcast recorded. So you can be on the lookout for that. There may be a BB CanCast reveal. And look, if you're not really a BB Can person typically, and you watched this season and you were hoping for like a quick fun season of the show to sort of like tide you over until the summer and you were disappointed, check out Big Brother Canada. BB Can 9 was a really good time. They have the best host, Arissa Cox, who is now an executive producer and is totally tapped into the fan base. And even though they still sometimes do things that I don't like, they actually have been listening to, I think, some feedback, and they're making their competitions better. And a lot of those improvements really showed in BB Can 9. So I'm very optimistic for BB Can 10. I would really recommend checking it out. It's not too difficult to watch. Anybody could give you instructions that are pretty simple. And if you need a VPN or anything like that, you can come hang out with me tonight on Twitch, and there are plenty of people that can help you out with instructions. But there might be a cast drop today. Who knows? If it's not today, I don't know. uh, let's see. Um, any other questions? What's any chance Misha could cut Todrick? No, no, I do not think that that is going to be the case. What previous Big Brother season game player style is most comparable to Todrick? Genuinely, and I don't mean this as a dig. I genuinely don't, but I think that Nicole Franzel is a good comparison gameplay wise. She is somebody that likes to use bigger competition threats as shields. She had a sort of similar style of creating targets. She even had a similar move where she convinced the opposition at the final, what was it, final eight or so, to she convinced the opposition to take a shot at the middle instead, and teamed up with them. Um, the difference is obviously that she had better jury management. But maybe a little bit of, a little bit of Paul, a little bit of Russell Hansian in there. But I think in terms of how he maneuvered in the game, Nicole Franzel is not a bad comparison. Um, all right. Okay. Let's see here. I think that's about what we've got. Do I believe Todrick has no chance? I do. I don't think he has a chance. I don't think that this is going to work out for him. Do I think Misha played a good game? I think she won a bunch of comps, and I think she played an okay enough celebrity game. I'm not gonna like if she wins, like I think that's fine. I think that she, the win, her competition wins alone, kind of, uh, you know, grant her that. Um, but I do think in terms of like strategically maneuvering, Todrick did a better job, but only in that sense. Uh, all right. That's it. That's what we got. Thank you so much for joining me here all season long for Celebrity Big Brother. It's been a wild ride, but we're going to have some Big Brother Canada coverage coming your way. And then, of course, later in the summer, we'll be back for Big Brother 24. Sounds weird. And of course, tonight, again, finale coverage. So make sure you tune in for that. And I've got the Taran show running. If you're curious about BB Can or you're a BB Can fan, Anthony Douglas is coming up on the Taran show. It should be out. It should either already be out or be out sometime today. So make sure you tune in for Anthony Douglas, Poutine Poppy, the lion himself. Very, very fun stuff from Anthony. And then we've got a couple more BB Can guests coming up. Make sure you tune into my Twitch channel for all kinds of stuff over there. And let's see, we got Survivor coming up as well. I will be covering Survivor as well. So if you want some Survivor coverage, some Stock Watch Survivor stuff, you can look for that as well. But that's what I have for you. Thank you so much for joining me once again, and I will see you in Big Brother Canada 10.